The source's payoff is covertly spiking the family's food to hurt them. I won't write food tampering revenge, so I kept the full their rule becomes their undoing engine and re-engineered the reversal into something realistic and airtight. Here's the story. How did you turn your family's rules against them? My stepfather made me run laps around the block to earn my dinner, so I ran. And then I kept running, right out of his house. The rule started when I was 13, after a doctor's visit where the word overweight got said once. My stepfather Ken decided he'd fix me. 10 laps around our block before I was allowed a plate. If I stopped to breathe, the count restarted. My mother went along with it the way she went along with everything, staring at the stove. My stepbrother ate whenever he wanted. His metabolism was different. By the time I finished most nights, dinner was picked over and cold. Ken called the leftovers motivation. Some nights I did the math on whether the food I'd get back was worth the laps and just went to bed instead. I was 15, and I knew the exact number of steps around my block, 2,240. I want to tell you, I stood up to him with some perfect speech. That's not what happened. What happened is smaller and better. One evening in October, doing lap 6 in the almost dark, I passed a man at the corner in a school windbreaker walking a dog. I'd passed him before. This time he timed me between the stop signs without me knowing, and the next time I came around he said, "Kid, do you know what your mile pace is right now?" I didn't even stop. Restarting was the rule. He was the assistant cross-country coach at my high school. He'd been watching a heavy, exhausted kid circle the same block every night for weeks, in jeans, in the cold, and he'd clocked me doing it faster than half his varsity roster. He showed up at the next lap holding his phone with the stopwatch out, jogging beside me, asking questions. Why every night? Why never in daylight? Why did I flinch when he offered to talk to my parents about joining the team? I told him the rule, all of it. I was too tired to lie, and there's something about the dark that makes the truth cheaper. He got quiet in a way I didn't understand at 15, but understand completely now. Coaches are mandated reporters. He didn't blow my life up that night. He did something more careful. He signed me up for the team, which meant practice after school, which meant a legitimate, adult witnessed reason to be fed. Team pasta nights, granola bars that appeared in my locker without comment, and every single day, a grown man clocking whether I looked worse than the day before and writing things down. Ken loved it at first. He told the neighbors his program was working, that he'd made an athlete out of me. He started calling my dinner laps training. He'd never once come to a meet, so he didn't know that coach had already sat with a counselor, that there was a file, that the school had called something in after I showed up to a Saturday practice dizzy, because Restart the Count had eaten my Friday dinner entirely. The visit from child services came in February. I wasn't home for it. I was at regionals. I don't know everything that was said in my living room that afternoon. I know my mother finally talked, because leaving the stove is easier when someone official is asking the questions. I know Ken's rule ended that week, and Ken himself was gone by summer because it turned out the rule was one item on a long list my mother had been keeping in her head, waiting for a witness. Here's the reversal, the part you came for. Running was supposed to be my punishment. It was designed to humiliate me, tire me out, and keep me from the table. Instead, it became the thing that saved me, fed me, and eventually paid for my education. I took 4th at state my senior year. A small college gave me a scholarship that Ken, who is very concerned with money, had to hear about from the neighbors. My mom came to every meet after that February. She sits in the front row of the bleachers with a cooler, and the cooler is for me, and it is always full. That's her apology. I've decided to accept it in the language she can speak. I ran my first marathon last fall, 26 miles, which is about 12 times around my old block. Somewhere past mile 20, when everything hurt, I laughed out loud because I realized the count only restarts if you stop. I don't stop. Ken, if you ever read this, you were right about one thing. Nobody eats for free. I earned every meal I've had since, at a table you're not welcome at.